In addition to the directives which we have looked at so far, which include v-for and vbind, we're now going to look at another useful directive called v-on, which will allow us to react to certain events. This v-on directive is also passed to our element inside of the opening tag as an attribute. And we're going to use it to change between the light and the dark mode when the user clicks on a button, meaning that back in our index.html, down inside of our blog section, we're going to add a HTML button. We can then include inside of the opening tag the v-on directive, which is going to listen for a click event. We can also listen for other events too, just like in regular JavaScript, such as onSubmit, onMouseOver, onKeyUp, and so on. The only difference is we remove the on prefix, meaning that an event such as onMouseOver would simply change to mouseover. We, however, on this occasion want to listen out for a click on this button, and then inside of the quotations we want to actually do something when this button has been clicked. In this case we want to toggle between the dark mode, and we have this set as a data property called dark mode set. So inside of here we're going to toggle this by setting dark mode set to be equal to the opposite. The exclamation mark means that if dark mode set is currently true, this will then toggle this to be false, and also the opposite applies too. Let's try this. And in fact we need to add some text in between our button too. Click on this and this will now toggle our dark mode. We can see the output of dark mode set if we grab this, and then we can output this in between the curly braces. So to see this more clear, this is currently set to false. Click this, it will be true, false, and so on. As well as this v-on syntax, it is also a shorthand too. Just like when we shortened vbind to use a colon, we can shorten v-on to use the @ symbol, and this will work exactly the same. This toggle button is not the best looking, so instead we're going to replace this with a HTML entity. We can then toggle between a sun and a moon icon depending on our toggle state. The two icons which we're going to display are going to replace this toggle text. First of all, let's output our two icons. The first one is the ampersand, the hash, and then 9788, followed by the semicolon. The second one is the ampersand, the hash, and this is 9789. This will give us our two icons which we need, but we only want to show one of these at a time. So we can use the JavaScript ternary operator to switch between these two icons. Open up the double curly braces and we can check if dark mode set is currently true. If it is, we're going to output as a string the first icon, which is the sun. If not, we'll use the colon and then pass it in the moon. Reload. We're currently in the light mode, so we see the moon. Click on this and this will switch to the sun. As we mentioned before, alongside listening for our click events, we can also listen for other events too, such as mouse over. And this should now toggle our state each time we hover over this particular button. However, for this example, a click event makes more sense. Adding our JavaScript expressions directly into the click event like this is okay for small examples, but it is generally considered better to extract this out of our HTML and place this into a function or a method. And this is what we're going to discover next.